Good morning, Year Sixes, and welcome to Friday of week 2 of online learning. So today, the only priority you have is to get yourself caught up with all of your English and to complete question 4 from lesson 10 today. That's it. That's your priority. If you are somebody who has caught up and you are up to lesson 10, all you have to do is complete question 4 for today and you're done. That's it for today. It's nice and short and simple because what I'm going to do is prepare you for weeks 3 and 4 English. So next week I am not going to be sticking to the distance ed lessons. So when I say that, this is what I mean. You know, these lessons that you've been getting, work starting from next week and week 4 won't look like that. We are taking a different approach because what I would like to do is prepare you for your assessment. So week 4, I've got your first English assessment ready to go. I've simplified it, I've cut it down, and essentially next week and the beginning of week 4, you're going to be doing deconstructions like we've been doing at school in the first term. We kind of looked at stories, we changed them, we edited them, we included show, don't tell, dynamic dialogue. So that's what we're doing. We're going to be looking at several different travel advertisements, and we're going to be trying to pull apart examples of modality, evaluative language, noun groups, rhetorical questions. So we're going to just deconstruct them and have a look at all the different text features and language features involved. And then what you're going to do is, for your assessment, you're going to look at 2 travel advertisements and you're going to do exactly the same thing. So essentially the next week and a half is going to be practice. I will walk you through them in the videos and we'll do them kind of together. And then eventually in week 3, I'm going to be a little bit more reliant on you guys to be able to complete some of those tables on your own. And then that leads into the end of week 4 where you are going to be doing these on your own. Make sense with everybody? So that is what the next 2 weeks are going to hold. You're not missing out. You're not, we are going to be doing the English that we would be doing at school. Okay, so this was a fantastic lead up, these distance ed lessons, but I want to structure it more to look like what we would be doing here at school. So we're going to give that a bit of a go and see how to view these videos. So it's a work in progress. Now, I completely forgot my train of thought, but essentially the lessons will look different from Tuesday next week to the end of week 4. But keep in mind, just because they're not distance ed lessons, which is what we've been following, you aren't missing out and you're not doing the wrong thing. This is the way that we at school have structured our English. You know that because we've been doing things like this all year. So keep that in mind. Now let's have a look at what I want you to do today. I will go through a bit more on Tuesday. I will set up a video about how to kind of how we are going to be approaching English from Tuesday onwards, but I won't really take up that time today. We'll just keep it nice and short and sweet to end lesson 10. So you can choose if you would like to do the last part of this English lesson. So the only part I want you to focus on is question 4, which is completing this table. This table looks very similar to what we're going to be doing for the next week and a bit. We're going to be completing tables like this, which is kind of deconstructing, having a look at the advertisements and pulling out the different features. Okay, so you are going to need the Clever Clean Kids advertisement, I guess you could say, which looks like this. This column has been done for you, and that's based on germs could be quite a handful, which is the other advertisement that we looked at. So what you are going to need today is to pull out examples of each of these features. I'm going to do the first few with you, and then you are going to complete question 4 on your own, because I think by now you should be able to do that. Let's get going. So noun groups. In germs can be quite a handful. They've come up with common infectious diseases. In Clever Clean Kids, let's have a bit of a look at any noun groups. Now remember what a noun group is. So it's words built up around a noun that describe it. So your adjectives, I guess you could say, are words that describe the noun. So let's have a look at what we can find in this advertisement. So already some pretty clear ones. And one of those is, look at the heading. Clever, clean, kids. If you have a look at that, what word is your noun? Hopefully I'm hearing the word kids. And what words describe the kids? Clever and clean. That's what you're putting in there, guys. I'm just going to type it in. There we go. Are there any others? Let's have a bit of a look. What about this? 5 handy hints. And just keep in mind I'm reading it with you as well. All right, there it is. All right, let's go through evaluative language, which expresses opinion or feeling. So they didn't find any in clever. In germs can be quite a handful. Let's have a look at what we can find in clever, clean kids. So again, going over to your advertisement, having a bit of a squeeze. And the only one that I think that I can find is be a clever, clean kid. They say clever kids probably. There we go. Let's go down. Same advertisement, modality. What words of modality are used within this advertisement? Now, remember that modality are any words that express a degree of certainty or uncertainty within an advertisement. So let's have a quick look at what they have said here. I usually cover my mouth. It's a low degree of certainty, but it is a word. So usually is a word. I regularly is a degree of certainty. I always. I frequently. Always is used again. There you go. Done, done, done. Those words need to be copied into here. I'll give you a few minutes to do, I'll give you a minute to do that really quickly. So the words usually, regularly, always, and frequently. Write those into the box. So obviously repetition is any word or phrase that is repeated for effect within the advertisement. So let's have a quick think about, or let's have a quick look at what words are used repeatedly in this advertisement. So clever, clean kids, that would be one. It's repeated twice. I is repeated more than once because it's essentially an instruction manual. My hands, I think. My hands, my hands, my hands. There you go. Those are the three. I'm going to highlight it. These are the ones you are going to be writing in the repetition box. So you've got eyes, my hands, my hands, my hands, and clever, clean kids, clever, clean kid. My hands. Wash is also repeated. There you go. Winter is also repeated. You could just keep going, couldn't you guys? So you write them into your box. Okie dokie. Again, you could have paused that. You can always go back if I went too quickly. Narrative point of view. Third person for germs can be quite a handful. Clever, clean kids. Well, hopefully you've been listening to narrative point of view and how to be able to distinguish the difference, because this is an instruction manual. Okay? Want to keep germs away. They are addressing that question to the audience, meaning they are talking directly to us or you, the audience. So that would be second person, guys. So that is second person. Language, rhetorical question. Is there a rhetorical question within this advertisement? I just read one out. Boom, there she goes. So want to keep germs away. That's a rhetorical question. That did not work. Want to keep germs away. I'm going to go through and I'm going to highlight the figurative language. So similes, metaphors, personification, alliteration, puns, any of those that we find. So clever, clean kids already jumps out at me as something in particular. What do you think that might be? I don't know about you, but it's repeated C sound, like clever, clean kids. So that is, you're right, alliteration. There's alliteration. Follow my handy hints. Alliteration as well. I think that's it for alliteration. So what about a simile? Remember what a simile is? So a simile is when you are comparing two things using as or like. If you look at the first sentence, follow my 5 handy hints so you don't feel as sick as a dog. This is a simile. Okay, guys, so figurative language, there is one example of personification in there. Now remember, personification is when you use human or animal characteristics or traits to, I guess, create imagery around non-living things. The sun peaked over the clouds. Suns can't peek. That's something that we can do or animals can do, peek around the corners or through windows. So it's a human characteristic on something that's not living. Okay, so go and find one example of personification and put it into this box here in the personification box. Okay. Replacing words and omitting words. Now, these are two cohesive devices. I think we talked about cohesive devices in either lesson 1 or 2. If you can't remember what they are, go back and just watch that segment of the video. So replacing words with synonyms. The reason why we replace words is so that we aren't being repetitive. So instead of saying wash your hands, you could say clean your hands. Instead of saying infect, you could say infectious, those kinds of things. So you want to look for what words in here have they replaced. So let's have a look over at the clever, clean kids. I don't know that they are doing this because they use, always, usually, regularly. I guess they've used usually, frequently, regularly. So instead of saying I usually cover my mouth, I usually use soap and water, I usually dry my hands thoroughly, they've used I guess those adverbs to ensure that they aren't repeating themselves. Even though they say always twice, they could have said always the entire time, but in order to make sure that they aren't being repetitive, they've ensured they've used those words. So here you would write usually. What did I have to say? Frequently. Oh, sorry. Regularly. And always. So they kind of use a combination of, it won't let me type always, guys, but make sure you do. Okay, omitting words. So it's a technique in advertising to omit words. So to us, a sentence can still make sense if you get rid of do you and just have want to buy this car for $1,000. Get rid of the beginning of the sentence or part of the sentence or omit a word to make it short, sharp, and catchy. So omitting words is definitely something that a lot of advertisements do. So is there a word within this advertisement that was omitted? Now, to me, it makes sense because of the example that I used, that this is an example of omitting words. Want to keep germs away. The word that's been omitted from that is, do you want to keep germs away? Why? Because they want to be short, sharp, crisp, and to the point. So they've omitted a word, but it still makes perfect sense. It's very clear. Okay, so it still meets the purpose of the advertisement. Want to keep germs away. Do has been. You might want to write, do has been omitted. That's the way that I would end that sentence to keep it short. Okay, guys. Now, I think I've essentially done those with you. That's all that you have to do today. Make sure that you have caught up on every single lesson up until this point. And if you, I guess, haven't been writing those down, go through and do that as well. Again, we do not have anything planned on Monday because Monday is a public holiday for us as well. So we will commence your online learning on Tuesday. Have a fantastic long weekend, and I hope that you guys enjoy yourself, relax. I might try to film something over the weekend and maybe share it on Monday. We'll see. I won't dig myself a holiday. Who knows? But anyway, if you've caught up, fantastic. Keep up the good work. Very proud. All right. See you next time, guys.